Hello and welcome to House News. In this episode, we'll present you the latest information coming from the House of Representatives of Indonesia. And now let's see the headlines for today. Despite the short sitting period, the Indonesian Parliament remains active in carrying out its tasks and responsibilities. Members of Parliament prioritize engaging with constituents through active communication, seeking feedback, and addressing concerns to ensure effective representation and policy making. Indonesians have chosen not only a new president and vice president, but also parliamentary and local representatives in the world's largest single-day election. The current third session period coincides with the 2024 election campaign. However, members of the House are still actively engaged in carrying out their legislative responsibilities.
Despite the short duration of the third session period, the House remains effective in carrying out the responsibilities. Members are actively involved in various activities, including meetings with partners and the public, discussing bills, and participating in plenary sessions. Additionally, they also engage in the regions conducting specific work visits and undertaking talks with constituents in electoral districts. The recent plenary session was not only the conclusion of the session, but also a platform for members to express the inspiration they had gathered from the public. This included concerns about the 2024 elections, the distribution of social assistance, and ongoing discussions on bills with the government.
Belakangan ini kami menemukan banyak sekali keluhan dari warga kami, khususnya para penerima manfaat bansos, PKH, BNPT, BPNT, sembako maupun yang lainnya, di mana mereka mengalami intimidasi dari sejumlah pihak yang mengancam akan mencabut bansos yang telah diterima karena beda pilihan politik. Ironisnya, intimidasi ini tidak hanya menyasar pada para penerima manfaat, tetapi juga para pendamping bantuan sosial, penyuluh dan pekerja sosial masyarakat lainnya. Saya meminta kepada para penerima bansos, khususnya bansos PKH, agar tidak khawatir dengan ancaman atau intimidasi yang dilakukan oleh para pihak yang tidak bertanggung jawab. Adalah tugas kami sebagai anggota DPR Pusat untuk melindungi ibu bapak sekalian agar senantiasa terpenuhi haknya dan terlindungi berbagai gangguan dan ancaman dalam memperoleh bantuan dari negara.
Speaker of the House Dr. Honoris Causa Puan Maharani mentioned, besides focusing on the 2024 elections, the House is also monitoring the implementation of the 2024 state budget. This oversight is to ensure that the budget is utilized accurately, especially concerning adaptive social assistance, which must be supported by crisis protocol plans. The leadership of the House has received representatives from the Association of Village Apparatus throughout Indonesia regarding the village bill. Furthermore, Puan explained the progress of the bill will be continued in the next session period.
Dapilnya masing-masing, tolong sampaikan kepada perangkat desa bahwa proses pembahasan terkait dengan rancangan undang-undang desa sudah dibahas di Balek di DPR bersama dengan pemerintah dan akan mengikuti mekanisme selanjutnya untuk dibahas pada sidang paripurna yang akan datang. Karenanya untuk menjaga persatuan dan kesatuan serta perdamaian yang ada, saya harapkan semuanya dapat menginformasikan hal ini sehingga DPR tidak dianggap sebagai lembaga yang tidak melaksanakan aspirasi dari rakyat sesuai dengan fungsi konstitusionalnya.
More updates on the general election will be coming after the break. Stay tuned to House News. The oversight function of the House is a clear demonstration of the commitment to enhancing public welfare. Through monitoring and supervision of government activities, the House hopes to improve governance and ensure that policies benefit the people.
Recently, there has been criticism across national mass media, including online platforms and social media, highlighting the low attendance of MPs at the committee meetings as well as during the plenary session. Media and the public are overly concerned with a quantitative matter, specifically focusing on the number of members occupying seats in committee meetings rooms and plenary session halls. Negative narrative spread, pointing out that the work of the House is merely a matter of showing up, sitting down, and attending meeting after meeting, session after session within the Parliament building. To prevent biased perspective, public needs to understand the core functions of the legislative institutions. Those functions include legislations, budgeting, oversight, and diplomacy. Some of these functions can be conducted through meetings such as budget discussion, discussions on draft laws, and ratification of policies. These activities are held during meetings or plenary sessions. Additionally, members of the House also carry out oversight duties concerning developments, policy executions, and gathering the aspirations and input of constituents in the region. The oversight function often leads to the inability to attend meetings and sessions. The majority of the members prioritize visiting regions to engage with constituents and gain a better understanding of government policies. In carrying out the oversight function, the House focuses on highlighting government policies, issues, and problems in various sectors in Indonesia. For instance, the work of Commission 2 of the House, which is responsible for overseeing the organization of the 2024 elections. It has been almost a year. Commission 2 has been visiting various provinces, districts, and cities to ensure that the election stages are conducted under the constitutional mandate. Recent visit of Commission 2 of the House to North Sumatra is carried out to observe the final preparations of the election organizers and stakeholders ahead of the voting in February 14, 2024.
Kita membagi 3 kelompok, ada yang ke Jawa Timur, ada yang ke Jawa Barat, dan kemudian saya memimpin di Sumatera Utara. Kami ingin memastikan sebetulnya persiapan penyelenggara pemilu ini sudah sejauh mana, ya, dilihat nanti dari 3 daerah ini, laporan dari teman-teman KPU, dari Bawaslu, dari pemerintah daerahnya, kemudian tadi laporan secara seluruhan Sumatera Utara. Alhamdulillah situasinya kondusif, apalagi tadi juga dijelaskan oleh Pak Wakapolda dan Wakajati, tidak ada masalah yang krusial.
In addition to overseeing the organization of elections, the House, through the Social Affairs Commission, also oversees the distribution of social assistance in Bandung, West Java. Commission 8 of the House questions the distribution of social assistance based on data on extreme poverty sourced from the Coordinating Ministry for Human Empowerment and Culture. The Commission believes that the distribution of social assistance should be integrated with social welfare data.
Ya, ini kan bantuan pangan ternyata datanya data kemiskinan ekstrim. Nah, ini yang kita belum bahas. Nah, memang sebaiknya segera dibahas karena berhubungan dengan pengentasan kemiskinan, wilayah kerja teknisnya di Kementerian Sosial. Nah, ini yang menurut saya menjadi bahan masukan juga dalam pertemuan di Bandung ini tentang adanya atau bahkan adanya lahirnya gitu ya kategori kemiskinan ekstrim di tengah masyarakat.
Meanwhile, Commission 7 of the House also conducts a recess work visit to the International Pertamina refinery in Cilacap, Central Java. Commission 7 requests the refinery to be able to produce eco-friendly fuels. This supervision is conducted to reduce carbon emissions to achieve net zero emissions by 2060.
Dalam rangka memenuhi kebutuhan akan BBM, tetapi juga terus ditekan emisinya, jadi rendah karbon, BBM rendah karbon. Kita sepakat net zero emission di tahun 2060. Maka dari itu seluruh infrastruktur tentang energi terus-menerus kita mitigasi.
In carrying out its oversight function, the House, through complementary organs, will ensure that regulations, institutional performance, program performance, and budget management are used to advancing Indonesia in various sectors. This is to improve the people's welfare through collaboration with working partners and the government. The House will also follow up on various issues in the public through meetings with partners, work visits to regions, or by forming work committees, monitoring teams, and supervisory teams.
More information on the general election around the world, only on House News. About 200 million Indonesians head to the polls to choose the country's next president and vice president. The national parliamentary election also took place on the same day. Here are some interesting facts about the Indonesians' vote.
This week, Indonesia holds a general elections featuring over 200,000 candidates running for 20 positions, including the country's president. The event is the world's largest and most complex single-day elections in the democratic world. Here are some key facts to know. The election body has recorded 200 million eligible voters, including 1.7 billion Indonesians living abroad, who can participate in the race. A roughly 12 million increase compared with the figure for the 2019 elections. The voter roll shows 106 million of these voters, are around 52% of the total, are people younger than 40. According to the General Election Commission, voters from Generation Z, or 70 to 30 years old, and millennials, or people in 31 to 40 years old, dominate the 2024 elections, comprising 56% of the total electorate. To accommodate disabled voters participating in the elections, the General Elections Commission provided voting equipment for blind voters. Special ballot papers designed with braille text are being introduced to help visually impaired voters in reading with the ballot papers and cast the vote. In the 2024 elections, cardboard ballot boxes are used once again, just like in 2019. This choice is based on their cost-effectiveness compared to aluminum boxes, which require maintenance after used. Cardboard boxes are considered disposable and do not become state assets.
Election officials have found ways to make general election across Indonesia cheerful and even more monumental. Here are some creative ways to the polling station officers to draw crowds to the ballot box.
During this year's regional elections, voters found unique ways to make the monumental fiesta of democracy even more festive. Election organizers in the 2024 elections are pulling out all the tricks to enhance voter participation, including wearing superhero costume and creatively decorating polling stations. Taken from the Jakarta Globe, in a spirit of Halloween, numerous polling station officers wearing costumes resembling Superman, Ultraman, and popular anime characters such as Naruto and Kenshin Himura from Samurai X. One location was decorated with cherry blossoms while others showcased traditional Japanese wedding decorations and Valentine's Day themes, given that the election coincided with February 13. Coinciding with Valentine's Day, some Indonesians refer to it as Pemilu. Moreover, some stations adopted a horror theme, taking advantage of their locations in cemetery areas. Officers enthusiastically participated in the competitions, wearing various costumes, including a pantomime costume, to attract voters' attention and encourage active voting at their respective voting locations. More than 200 million Indonesians in more than 800,000 polling stations voted for their new leader. The election is billed as the world's biggest single-day elections.
It's the year of the vote. Countries that are home to nearly half of the world's population will pick their governments in election in 2024, something that has never happened in a single year before.
More than 60 countries representing half the world's populations will go to the polls in 2024, voting in presidential, legislative, and local elections. The stakes for the 2024's democratic contest will be enormous, not just for the countries going to the polls, but for the world as a whole. The US will head to the polls on 5th November 2024. More than 160 million Americans are registered to vote. They will be choosing the 60th US president who will serve in the White House for 4 years from January 2025. Incumbent President Joe Biden hopes to secure a second term in office, while former President Donald Trump is hoping to secure a second non-consecutive terms. Taiwan rang in the new year with an elections to decide its next president as well as its legislature on January 13. How the self-ruling island deals with China is a central theme of the campaign. Communist China has never ruled there, but still claims it as its territory. Bangladesh began 2024 with the first major elections of the year, as Sheikh Hasina won a fourth consecutive term as Prime Minister. Opposition parties boycott the vote over complaints that it was neither free nor fair. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has suggested the UK's next general elections will take place in 2024, despite having the legal right to wait until January 2025. Conservative Party has been in power for 14 years but is widely expected to lose the vote, which should be held before the end of January 2025.
And that's House News for today. Thank you for watching everyone and have a good day.